Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. We are going to be doing a hashtag Garden Tour Club, hashtag Weird Container Growing, hashtag Grow Big 24, and hashtag Store to Garden Grow today. And this is my new little friend. We actually purchased this a while back on clearance. And we're trying to keep the chickens from flying over our gate. So I thought I'd put him up here on this post because that's where the chicken likes to go through. And my husband has added the little rooftops off the nest boxes out here that tilt. So when they hit this, it tilts and it throws them off balance. So let's get into the garden. New anthill has sprung up. We are at the very back of our garden. I'm going to turn around and give you the view. That is the full view. We have some of the fire rings planted, some of them are not. We have planted some sugar baby watermelons and they're starting to come up. So I've got a row of about 4 plants here. This middle section going forward has pumpkin. These are the Amish pie pumpkins. So I have about 4 of those as well. And then my last row has cantaloupes. So I do have some coming up. And I'm excited about that. These fire rings will get planted, I hope, very shortly. We may buy plants for them, but my hopes was to put some flowers in. So I'm just walking up this way. I have planted all kinds of stuff out here. Y'all, I didn't even bring my paper out to tell you what all I planted. But I know one of these rows is okra. One of these rows is a new to us eggplant. And then I'm not sure what this row was. One of these rows has not come up yet. We have bought some banana peppers, both hot and sweet banana peppers, and we have companion planted these with a Store to Garden Grow garlic. It is some very large elephant garlic. So I've got 2 of these. And they are full of buds. And we also have some peppers. So we're getting peppers already. We are planting in these with straw on the bottom, and then we're topping it off with horse manure mulch. It is horse manure that has been composting for about 2 years or longer. It has biochar in there, it has horsehair in there, it's got lots and lots of microbes. We found worms in there, so we're really excited about it. Very dark soil. I've got some beans growing here, and if they don't pop out soon, we may be replanting some of this because some of the seed were old. This one has beans coming up underneath, And then we have planted cucumber on our trellises. And I've also planted some other things on the trellis behind and beside, hoping to help our plants stay bug free. So these are the little bouquet hot peppers down here. I've got some more beans popping up over here. And I planted some sweet basil, and I got some cucumbers coming up in that grass. Now we'll just keep the grass trimmed. We're not trying to get rid of the grass, but we got some basil in there. In this fire ring, we have planted tansy, sage, and I believe that is thyme. Let me get over here and look at the labels. And we'll probably be adding more to this. Yeah, this is French thyme. And then we have some calendula right down in there. My tomatoes, one of my plants got attacked. So immediately I went and got some basil plants and planted some basil here and put some eggshell around the bottom of my plants to try to deter any worms or anything from eating our tomato plants. This fire ring has some more tansy in it. We have a tea tree, and we have some sage in here, and then we have St. John's wort right there. These are my purple pod pole beans. They're Louisiana pole beans. These are what my aunt raised when I was a kid. They're coming up, and again, we're just going to keep the weeds at bay as best as possible. We did plant some squash seed, which have not come up, so we'll probably be replanting those, but we're going to run these on these trellises. Here is some more of my tomatoes. We also paired them off with some marigolds. These are Mountain Fresh tomatoes, and the other ones are Abe Lincoln tomatoes, or heirloom, but these are not an heirloom, these tomatoes here. So I'm going to walk around this. We have, these are Royal Burgundy bush beans right here. So we have several rows of those, and they're doing quite well. I do have a few holes where the beans have not come up yet, or they might be struggling to get through the holes. Back here I have planted sunflower seeds and a mix of herbs and seeds, flowering seeds for us to either enjoy or consume. So we have a lot of seeds planted here. We have okra planted along here, and there's an okra right there. And now we're going to look at it this way. So you can see I have hung streamers on our arches, and I've got streamers in several places to try to deter any critters from coming into the garden and eating our garden back here. So this garden area is 330 square feet. I've also paired off some corn, some more of the peaches and cream corn, which I have not seen up yet, but I've paired it off with some bush butter beans. So that's going to be on this outside strip here. And I'm not seeing the corn coming up yet, but I know it's coming. Well, there's a corn right there. So we do have a couple of corn coming up. Our blackberries are starting to ripen, and we're still getting some flowers on this one. We've got like 22 or 23 blackberry bush plants in our garden. Our hostas are getting ready to bloom. Among all the weeds, we have some lilies that we need to move, and we'll be moving them this fall to our front bed. And this is some wild lettuce growing here. Unfortunately, I can't eat wild lettuce because when you pick it, it contains a white liquid, and that is a latex type liquid. Marigolds are blooming. We took one basket out, and I'm not going to replace it this year, but our mint is just going bonkers back here, and I need to get in here and harvest some of the mint and get it into my pantry. These lilies are getting ready to open, and I believe this is my Sweet Williams right there, and so we're going to get some Sweet Williams this year. I'm still not seeing a lot of thyme in there. I am seeing a couple of weeds though. We've had so much rain, it's hard to tell. The broccoli does not, the broccoli does not look like it's doing well in that bed. We've got a little bit of dill growing in here with these onions. I need to come out here and check these, by the way. And still don't think that's leeks in that one. Have no idea what we grew in this one. This is still not producing anything but weeds. That is my ginger root. What you're seeing there is ginger root. I've got weeds and a few pieces of lettuce that have not done anything. I'm expecting it to bolt. I'm hoping to get some seed off of it anyway. This is my bed of beets, y'all, and my asparagus that needs to be left alone for at least a year, but I planted beets in there this year to try to get something out of that bathtub, which is a weird container to grow in. The weeds are taking over now in here, but I do have some flowers from the radishes that didn't produce. My carrots are going nuts. This is my established bed, and yes, I still need to get out here and clean it up. Little thrift store basket is growing some beautiful flowers, so we're hoping we'll start seeing some flowers on that soon. And there is my hen and chicks. We're still fighting that poison, whatever it is, over in this area. And this is a bed that we've got to clean up. And then we've got this bed over here that we need to clean up. The houseplants are absolutely thriving outside in the shade. Here we are at our scarecrow, hashtag scarecrow24, and this is the Grow Big 24 plot of 6 different seeds that we have planted. These are the dark Detroit beets, dark red Detroit beets. I recently featured this bed on another video. This is the Peter peppers, and I have companion planted some of the store-to-grow garden elephant garlic in here. The basil is coming out nicely. The cilantro is coming up nicely. My marigolds that I planted in here, they're all companion plants. This is planted again with straw as the base of my ring. And then we topped it off with the composted horse manure. And our Peter peppers are starting to really leaf out now. I think we lost the one that had only one leaf left on it, but the rest of them are thriving. This is very rich soil. Let me see if I can get down in closer. It has biochar, horsehair, worms, microbes. It's got everything it needs to grow healthy. These are the Dr. Weitch's yellow tomatoes. I have some marigolds in here that are starting to really fill out. The tomatoes are getting quite big. And these are planted with onions that I have purchased from the Amish, and they are starting to fill in really nicely. This is the sunflowers. These are mammoth sunflowers. They are the gray stripe. I have a few weeds in there. I'm going to let the weeds go because these get really tall. I've got some marigolds in there. I did not companion plant anything else in this bed, although I have thought about maybe putting some wildflowers in once they get established. And come on, flowers. I'm seeing the formation of little flowers in the center of some of these, so we might get some flowers out of that before too much longer. This is our zucchini, and I'm going to come over here. This is Black Beauty zucchini. We have buds in there. We have corn in there. We have pole lima beans in there. We have marigolds. And I'm looking, y'all. We may have some zucchini on these before too much longer. I may be out here trimming a few leaves off so that the plants can force their energy towards making the vegetables. Our last ring over here is our watermelon radish, and they're getting quite big. I don't think we have any radishes in here yet. I think we have some nice roots, but we don't have any big radishes yet. This is companion planted with some marigolds. Strawberries are dying back, y'all. They have probably reached the end of their season for this year. I've got some sweet potatoes growing in here. We're having trouble with inchworms and those white caterpillar moth caterpillars, but these are all sweet potatoes that you're seeing here. Really not seeing anything on the leaves, so it's probably that or cutworms starting to come in. And I do have quite an ant colony in this one. My red potatoes are dying back, and we probably will be harvesting at least one of these before too much longer. This is my turmeric and my bush lima beans. I made the mistake of putting bush beans in there instead of the pole beans, but I'm going to go back in between and I'm going to plant pole beans and put in some trellis poles for the beans to climb, because that really requires some shade. I've got another tansy down here. I've got 8 pimento pepper plants here. This is the rhubarb. The tomatoes, y'all, are starting to turn. This is cilantro. It looks like it's getting ready to go to seed, and I don't want it to seed yet, so I'm just going to pull those flowers off. The rest of these peppers, and they're starting to form peppers, y'all, are bell peppers. So I've got bell peppers, and I did companion plant these with some onions that I bought at the store as well. And I mean, the tomatoes are just absolutely loaded, y'all. We've got, I need to get out here and tie some vines up. We've got tomatoes everywhere. These 2 plants here are going to be put into a mineral bucket, and they will turn into a tree that's 60 feet tall if we plant them directly in the ground. But if we plant them in buckets, they'll get to about 5 feet tall. And that is a lemon eucalyptus. It's great for keeping the wasp away. from what I was told. And there's a tomato. I need to get out here and pick these tomatoes before something else grabs a hold of them. But I mean, they're absolutely loaded with tomatoes, y'all. The cabbage is a real disappointment this year. The inchworms really tore it up, but I'm getting little heads of cabbage now. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave them in there and just see what happens with it. If they're wormy when I pull them, they'll go to the chickens. I planted them with some dill and some elephant garlic as companion plants. And all my peppers are planted with onions. I still haven't planted that. That poor little lily has not been planted yet. I still got a few things in trays out here that I need to get planted. We will see what we can do about it. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Garden Tour Club, Weird Container Growing 24 and Grow Big 24, Store to Garden Grow, and also the Scarecrow 24. So y'all go check out all of these wonderful channels and playlists that I'm going to place in the description box below. I'd like to thank Gail Southern Living, Blackberry Rock Homestead, Joe and Corky at Grow Big TV, got a tomato down there, Luann's Kitchen, Blackberry Rock Homestead. Of course, my channel is the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch for the Scarecrow 24. A lot of these are open collaborations. You can check them out. Everything will be in the description box below for you to check out. So let me get out of this menagerie of tomatoes. I'm going to come down here. Let's see. I like to look at my tomatoes. I do have a couple of my tomato plants did not do well this year. I'm just going to let them go because I've got so many of them planted. So this is the front garden, y'all. Thank you again for watching, and may you be fully blessed.